This is our inaugural episode of the New York Long Island Film Festival podcast and video. And we are now in year 6.
Year 6 of Nyliff, 2024. Who would have thought back in 2019 that we'd be here?
Right. And there's so many things we have to talk about and to do, and moving forward, things we want to accomplish with Nyliff. And I know that you and I talked about this before, and I think the time is right now because of all the people we've met and all the great films that we've seen, the do's and don'ts.
Absolutely, and it's so finite, our time with the filmmakers during the festival. And there's so much to talk about. We've had so many wonderful interviews with people. So to have this podcast, to be able to invite people to join us again and to talk more about film, the industry, independent filmmaking, what's going on in the film festival world, this really will give us a great opportunity to let these people have more of a voice.
Yeah. And when trying to come up with a format of how we were going to do this, we figured we'd just keep it simple. Just bring the filmmakers on, let them talk. And we want to do something that's going to help all the other filmmakers, that's going to help everybody involved in this industry take something away from it. We see a lot of film festivals popping up like crazy.
Right.
I mean, statistically, I don't even know the number, but how many film festivals, whether say 10 or 20 or 30 years ago, as opposed to now?
Right. And for someone, there are people who are seasoned film festival goers and submitters and things like that. And then there are people who are brand new to the game. And so we want to get perspective from everyone and to help people navigate. And we thought that this would be a fun, and also to talk about movies, our films, sure. And that'll be a big part of it as well. So we just want to have a good time and bring to you interesting people,
right, and
have a good time.
And the ability to promote your films. I know a lot of people, they show their films, and the big reason they come to the festivals is because it's an opportunity to show their film to people. But then it's, where do you go from there?
Right.
How do you get people interested? How can more people see it? So we wanted to create something where it would continue and people can talk and again, learn and
connect.
Absolutely. How many times have we said that about the networking and the people who have connected through Nyliff?
Absolutely. And so this would be another avenue for people to be able to connect.
Yeah. We made a little list here. No, I kind of made a list and it's in my gibberish, but some of the things that we want to talk about, there's all the students. I mean, that's one of the things we're getting more involved with the schools. So we're going to have students come on. We're going to see one of the schools in Sewanega High School, April 15th.
Yes, they invited us to come and talk to the kids. They have a film class, correct? Yep. And to talk to them about filmmaking and festivals and encourage young filmmakers to submit to festivals. It's important, even not so much getting your film in the festival, but to have an opportunity to have it shown and then to network with other filmmakers. We've seen young people come to our festival, and it's so great the amount of encouragement that they receive from the other filmmakers, and it's fantastic. It's such a as competitive as actors and filmmakers you think it is. At least our experience at Nyliff, it is such a room full of support, right, and encouragement and camaraderie.
Right. I mean, we know this industry is interesting, but it's a real balance of the actor, producer, director ego, but also pulling for everybody.
Right, absolutely.
And I think that most of the people we've come in contact with will be genuinely happy when their peers make it with something big. And you never know who it's going to be.
Right.
That's the fascinating part of it.
Right.
We're also going to talk some things that might not, rattle a cage or two.
Sure.
How submissions get in, how difficult it is to pick and choose the films, and as you get to know people and they become friends, how difficult it is. Like when we see films coming in, we get worried. Like, what if it's not good, or what if we start to get too many films and we can't fit everybody? And we know now, having been on the inside of this, what it's like, because we're also filmmakers, actors, and we've submitted films, and you get a better handle on what it's like submitting to festivals and what the judges and the people who run these festivals are actually going through.
Right.
But also, there's festivals that we've learned to stay away from, and what the red flags are for some festivals that might be in it for the money, or not just to, further the industry.
Right. And a criticism of many film festivals that we've heard of are that it gets cliquey, that it's just people, you might as well not even bother submitting because it's only the person's friends, or things like that, or they're just out to give awards. There's no real substance to the film festival. So again, we're not perfect either. We're but these are things that, like you said, you don't want your film festival to have that reputation. And so you walk that fine line every year of, yes, we have great relationships with filmmakers. And like you said, you don't want to discourage people from coming back year after year, but you also want to be welcoming to new people. And then it comes down to, you have a finite number of hours to show films. So we, at Nyliff, we keep adding days. We're 5 days this year. So, as that happens, I'm sure we'll continue to grow, but there has to be a cutoff. So it's not easy being on either side of.
And watching all the films.
Right.
I mean, just pure watching all the films, and some of the festivals that don't do that. They don't watch the films because whether it's time constraints, and we know how difficult it is now that we're getting more and more films to sit and watch the films. And a lot of times we, have to bypass watching mainstream television or a movie that we were going to watch because, we got to watch Nyliff. And that commitment, I think, is important. And there are a lot of great festivals out there. I mean, not to,
we're not bashing.
It's
any festivals.
we'll also get into conversations, and we'll be talking to filmmakers about, the art itself, whether you cut your film down in time. What's the goal? If you have, obviously, if your film is shorter and festivals are having a hard time fitting films in, well, shorter may get you in, but then you're compromising your film or your art. But sometimes you're making it better because it's very hard for filmmakers sometimes to cut where it needs to be cut.
Right.
So it's an interesting line where, I know from making the film Essence that it was originally like 35 minutes long, 40 minutes long, and now there's an 11-minute version, which I really like, but I miss some of the things in that longer version.
Right.
Is it better? I don't know.
Is it better to cut something down and then it gets you into a festival, and then again you get the experience of the networking and things like that, whereas if you didn't, you might not even attend a film festival. That's another thing too. I think a lot of people, unless you have a movie, and they're not going to go to the festival just to go watch movies. I think we should maybe do more of that and support film festivals in that way, to not just go if you have a film, but to go and experience films. That first year we were at the Seaford movie theater, and a woman who had come in for the afternoon matinee, she was like, "Oh, what's going on here?" And I told her about it, and she came back just to watch films. She had nothing. She didn't know anybody. She, just happened upon the film festival, and she was interested in it. We had people last year who had read about it.
That
in the
older
paper,
couple that stayed.
And they came and they loved it, and they were asking questions. They were involved and engaged, and I would love to. I encourage people to do more of that.
And to help the filmmakers, you guys should be doing that. Getting people to come out. Because in the end, we see a lot of people, they come, they watch their film, and they leave.
Right.
And in the end, what does that really do for them or for anybody? It doesn't support the other filmmakers. It doesn't really do anything for them themselves.
Right.
They're seeing their film, but
they might have some place to go. They might have a dental appointment.
right, maybe they have a dental appointment, Friday night at 8. But I think that encouraging people to learn that staying is valuable for them.
Absolutely.
Because that's where, when you bring your film to a festival, I know the goal is to have somebody see it who's going to say, we love your film. We want to put it on the big screen. We want you to direct the next, Avengers movie. Everybody has that hope. It's kind of like winning the lottery, but those things have a much greater chance of happening if you stay.
Right.
A lot of people won't even, the person left. It's like when you do a raffle ticket and they call the number and they say, that person left, goes on to the next person. So there's a million people doing this, and you got to be in it to win it.
Sure.
So, like I said, we've got a lot of topics here. How Hollywood, the big players, how they're looking at festivals. Mm-hmm. Do they look at festivals? You win 30 awards, in Montana and Boise, Idaho. What does that do for you? So we'll talk about that. We'll talk to other filmmakers that have won awards like that have gotten into maybe some of the bigger festivals, and the value of getting into a bigger festival versus winning smaller ones.
Right.
How these things play into it. So it's going to be interesting talking to. We have a nice lineup of some of the filmmakers we've already spoken to, and we'll be putting out a list as we get the dates that we're going to be talking to them.
But, and if anybody's interested in being a part of the podcast, please get in touch with us.
In the end, when we do this and we do what we do, and we make films and act, and I find more and more that the passion in it, the love of doing it, is the most rewarding part of it. And it sounds corny because it's, obviously you want to get paid, and when you become a millionaire for making your film, that's going to be rewarding also. But I always believe, and I know we've talked about this, that doing it for the love of it increases the chances that you'll get the money. Doing it for the money probably zeroes those chances out.
Absolutely.
So it'll be interesting, like I said, to get the feedback of, the filmmakers. We have, consistent filmmakers that year after year. And, we tip your cap to all of you, because year after year you make films. And one thing we see is constant improvement.
Yes. And constant collaboration to mm-hmm. see filmmakers who met at our film festival go on to work together.
Why don't you tell everybody where they can go to submit to Nyliff?
Well, they go to Film Freeway, Film Freeway / Nyliff, NYLIF.
It's actually filmfreeway.com /
I always say backslash.
You always say backslash, but it is a slash. Both might work, but
okay.
Yeah, I think it's slash.
Film Freeway / Nyliff.
I think so.
And be on the lookout for discounts throughout the year, and
we are taking submissions until August.
Yes,
the end of August,
and we have quite a few submissions right now. Mm-hmm. We're trying to keep up on watching. We're a little behind,
yep.
But
we say that every year.
We say that, right? Right.
We're doing something different this year too with the awards.
Yes.
So we're very excited about that. We're going to be having an awards breakfast brunch on the Sunday, because we've always done the festival. Originally it was Friday and Saturday. Then it became Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Last year it was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And we realized we're wasting Sunday. And it's very difficult as the films have increased in number and the days have increased to get those awards in on Saturday. And we're also losing out on showing more films, because by ending it Saturday to get the awards done, we have to stop by 8:30.
Right.
And Friday we had that nice block of horror films that went till 11. We could go later on Saturday, so we decided we should do the awards on Sunday. There'll be a small fee for the breakfast, for the brunch, to attend for the awards. Nothing crazy, and we are going to decorate the place really nice. It's going to be, like coming to the Academy Awards dinner for sure. So
but breakfast, but eggs.
For brunchy kind of. I was talking to them about the menu.
Brunch.
We're going to put
Mimosas.
But mostly breakfast. You're right. Keeping it simple and fun. So everybody can, because there is that getting the taste And we've seen that too. You come up and you take your award from Nyliff for the people making these films. It's an Academy Award kind of moment. I mean, everybody comes up really proud of the awards.
Right, and it's hard on Saturday night after a full day, and people, want to get home or want to get out. So, sometimes we've rushed through things, and so doing it on the Sunday will allow us to take our time a little more and to give everyone more of a moment, which they deserve.
Hopefully, we won't have that mistake that we have to mail out the correction 2 days after the festival.
Yeah.
What's that look for?
Typos.
Usually my fault. We're also talking about doing some kind of workshops during the day too, where we're going to have some of you guys come in and talk to the other filmmakers. We're going to have, like I said, the schools, so we'll have little briefings for them.
Right.
And again, the goal is to everybody who puts their film in a festival or comes to the festival should get something out of it. Many people, it's just to see their film, which is fine. But it would be nice if this film festival industry could help elevate everybody to the next level.
Absolutely.
And we want to do everything that we can to see that happen. And
that's always been our main goal since year one, is about the filmmakers. Any feedback is always welcome, but every year we're trying to improve.
Yep. And we've always billed ourselves as the film festival for everyone.
Yes.
Which I still stand by.
Absolutely.
It's so many festivals are agenda driven or they are group driven, and again, there's nothing wrong with that. But we chose to go in a different direction, and everybody's welcome at Nyliff, all different types, genres, you name it. And we also talk about that amongst ourselves too, because we all have preferences. What type of movie you like, and sometimes you're watching something and it may not be your cup of tea, and as judges we take that also very seriously, to step back and say, hey, maybe this isn't something I particularly like. But how look through it through a different lens, and what are the good qualities in this, and what to take your likes and dislikes out of it, but to look at it differently. Seriously. All these different topics, story versus the importance of sound, lenses, equipment. Is a movie great looking but on story?
Right.
Or is it a great story that has terrible sound, but does it deserve some attention? And
and and sometimes you're watching something and it's so beautifully filmed, and you think, wow, this is incredible. But the story, it was like, what was that about? What did I just watch? Or, like you said, there's an amazing story, and it might not be the best quality camera work, or there's sound issues, and so what's better?
Right. And sometimes we don't know if something is a comedy, they being serious. So that's why the bios and the stories they write are very important. I've talked to a lot of filmmakers saying, I don't write anything, I don't send a letter to the festival. Write those, because we read those, and it helps us determine sometimes, like, this is kind of tongue-in-cheek, and it makes you look at it through a different lens. And we've all been there where we submit films, and we know that as filmmakers, the festival may not get it. You're reading what the festival is about, and it may not be right. Mm-hmm. So these things are tough, and we want to hear from you guys. So look in the comments below, write down comments, suggestions, things that we might talk about, or that you think we should talk about, that will help everybody else, and we'll address it on the next shows.
Thank you guys so much. Nyliff Podcast, here we go.
Yeah, and again, Nyliff this year, October 16th
through the 20th.
20th. We're going to be posting a lot of information, because we'll be back at the Moose Lodge. We'll be back at
South Shore
Theater. And we may have a couple of other surprises. We have a couple of new places for our after parties and our welcome parties and everything. So it's going to be a great year.
Lindenhurst, New York.
That's right, Lindenhurst.
The place to be.
It's all happening. Okay, we'll catch you on the next Nyliff podcast. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you soon.